Well, good morning, everybody. Are you guys as excited about this as I am? Yes. I'm very excited to share a lot of stuff today. I'm going to introduce everybody in just a second. So let's start off by saying the pledge, all right? So here we go. Those who can stand would stand, that'd be great. Okay? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Fantastic. Okay, a couple little housekeeping things before we start. Could everyone silence your phones? Just for the respect of your neighbors. You can put it on vibrate, but if you could do that. Also, so that you know, we are not going to take questions throughout this presentation because there's a lot of information, but we have tons of staff and groups here that can answer your questions afterwards, okay? This is being recorded so that you for some of the people, well, just so that we have a record of it, and so that people that couldn't attend, snowbirds and other people, they can hop online and they can check out all this great information we're going to share with you. And I want you to know that this is a historic event, right? It's historic in the sense that SCHOA has had new resident orientations for years, but this is the first one that we've ever collaborated with the Rec Center and with COA. And so it's just fantastic. I'm excited that we're going to be hopefully doing this more to educate our community about all the unique things that all these organizations do, okay? And another exciting thing is that we had over 300 people RSVP. We didn't have to have you didn't have to RSVP. Anybody that didn't is welcome in, but that way we knew how many goodie bags to kind of prepare for everybody, right? So, so with that, all the little housekeeping things, we'll go ahead and we will just get started. Let me get my little, oh, here we go. The microphone. Oh, I did already. It's right on the shelf. Yeah, I did. Okay. All right. All right, so I have welcomed you. Welcome, we're so glad that you're here. I want to introduce, so first of all, I'm Lisa Gray. I'm the general manager of the Sun City Homeowners Association, also known as SCHOA. Also today with us is going to be doing a presentation is Sue Clark, who is the president of the Sun City Condo Association. And then Chris Nettesheim, who is the vice president of the RCSC, the Rec Centers of Sun City. All right? All right, so a lot of you may know this, some may not. Sun City opened on Friday, January 1st, 1960, with around 100,000 visitors that weekend. There were 237 sale contracts were signed. It was historic. The total sales surpassed over $3 million for that weekend back in 1960 was really a big deal. And selling an active retirement community was judged as a viable option. And I want to thank the historian who's recently passed away, Ben Roloff, because the first two slides are slides that he gave me when he did a presentation. So got to keep that historic perspective. It was a smashing success. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but up in the upper left-hand corner, the long line, that was traffic on Grand that backed up for 6 miles to be here that weekend. All right? So we go from 1960 and we're going to shoot all the way into 2025. Woo! So Sun City is unique in many ways, and hopefully you're going to walk away and you're going to have a better understanding of our community. So Sun City is not a city. So many people move here from other places, towns, cities. This is not a city, even though we're called a city. We are an unincorporated community within Maricopa County. There's no city government. There's no mayor and there's no staff. Maricopa County is responsible for maintaining our roads, our medians, codes, zoning, and law enforcement. Also, as many of you, if not all, know, that Sun City is age restricted. So we are an age restricted community for people 55 or older. No one under 19 can reside here. Children under 19 may visit for up to 90 days a year. And there are no schools, which means one of the benefits that we get as a community is that we're not paying school taxes. So now I'm going to talk about SCHOA. Okay, so did you know, a little more history, that SCHOA was originally called the Sun City Civic Association, and it is the oldest organization in Sun City. And SCHOA played a key role in developing the Sun City that we enjoy today. One of the things that SCHOA did, they were responsible for the installation of the very first stoplight at 107th and Grand Avenue. And also, SCHOA provided seed money for such organizations such as Sunshine Service and the Sun City Posse. So SCHOA, in one way or another, has been active in the community since 1960. SCHOA incorporated in 1963, and we've been the organization has been an advocate for the past 65 years. And it's not your typical HOA, which I think you're going to learn today. Our mission as an organization is to preserve Sun City property values through the fair and consistent application of your CC&Rs, your deed restrictions. That's our primary goal, our primary responsibility. That's really what we're here for. It's just so perspective, when you think about an HOA, Sun City is 15 square miles, and there are 17,500 single-family homes, and approximately 10,000 condos. I believe I talked to Sue this morning, and it's 9,600 condominiums. And condominiums include patio homes, apartments, side-by-sides. Anyway, so she's going to go over that with you, but condo is just not like an individual condo. There's a lot of type of condos. SCHOA's structure is we have a board of directors of 9. They're volunteers. We have a general manager, and we have a compliance staff of 5, and we have a marketing staff of 5. Our board of directors, this is a list of our board of directors, and we do have some of them here today. So like Ed Van Ness, our president, is here, if you understand, and then Pam Schwartz-Hall is here. Also Sandy Crawford and Greg Bradley, they're all here today. Greg was passing out bags at the front door. We keep them working, so they stay busy. Did I miss somebody? John? I don't have my glasses on. So John Turco, I believe, is here also. Yep. All right, so our compliance team, you probably saw a lot of them at the table. They consist of 11 part-time staff. Our staff is part-time. We work Monday through Friday from 9 to 3, and Monday through Thursday 9 to 3, and Friday 9 to noon. All right, so you're going to see what we do with the part-time staff and why it has to be part-time for right now. So my staff, if you'll stand up, because I'll tell you what, SCHOA would not be where it's at today without this staff. This staff that I have is amazing. It's remarkable. They really care about our community. They are just not a hammer looking for a nail, right? They do a lot of stuff to help our community when they go to people's houses and they see the condition that they're living in, whether it's a deed restriction, or we had a compliance officer that went to a food bank and got somebody food. Right, so my staff is extremely compassionate about the community that they serve. So everyone in Sun City lives in an HOA. So for SCHOA, your CC&Rs are mandatory. They're deed restricted. They go with the property of your land. But this is where an HOA is a little bit different here. The membership to SCHOA is voluntary. It's a $25 annual fee. I don't know why back in the 1960s they made it a voluntary, but they did. I've researched it. I've looked. And so we're going to talk about what that $25 does. So SCHOA, your SCHOA membership is not included in your RCSC assessments. We're going to talk about that, and I'll show you the difference there too. And they're also not included in your COA fees and assessments, your condo association fees. So there's a lot of confusion in our community about what the rec center does and what SCHOA does. A lot of people move here, and I think when they think of assessments, they think, oh, assessment, that's my HOA. So we get a lot of calls thinking that, that the rec center is their HOA. but they're not. We're two different organizations, and I really hope that everyone takes away the difference today. So here's the little chart that we put together. SCHOA protects, right? So we protect we protect property values. We protect the CC&Rs. When you guys decided to move here, I'm sure you drove through the community and thought, oh my gosh, it looks so beautiful here, right? There's not cars parked on the streets. There's not a bunch of debris everywhere. It just is a nice, kept up community, especially for our age. SCHOA is part of that reason why. And so just in comparison, the rec center, they handle all your fun, all your rec center stuff, all your recreation, right? Your golf courses, your pools, this center, all that type of stuff is under the rec center. And when you move into Sun City, you're paying your assessment, your annual assessment of $650 now, your PIF and your SIF, all that goes to the rec center. SCHOA does not have a mandatory fee. So you can see the difference in like the budgeting. We have about a $725,000 budget. The rec center has about a $30 million. You can see the difference in staff and dollars. Okay, so just so you understand, there is a big, huge difference between the two organizations. The rec center does not handle any CC&R. They get a lot of questions about that. They don't handle any of that. That's all SCHOA. Just like we don't handle any questions about the recreational side, that's all the rec center. All right, so what does SCHOA do, right? We do protect, so what does that look like? So we enforce CC&Rs for all single-family homes, all right? We protect the age overlay for all. Even, and there's the condos are a different bird, if you will, but they're still part of this senior community with the age overlay, and that has to be protected. And so when we get a call from somebody in a condominium that has an age restricted or an age issue, we will take that on. We will look at that. We will guide them. We will report it. We will work on that. So we do protect. We are the protection of that age overlay. So that's another reason why, folks, it's important that you're a member of SCHOA, $25, and if we were to lose that, that would be more than $25 effect to your pocketbook, right? And it would change the whole community. All right, so we also protect against legislation that could affect our community. We have a government affairs committee, which we'll talk about that shortly, and we watch legislation that could hurt our community. And then when there's something that comes up, we communicate to the community about, hey, we think that this bill is going to affect us, and this is what we need you to do. And so there was a parking bill last year that we were a little concerned about, and so we sent out an email, and we got, I think, close to 4,000 signatures on a petition that we were able to take down to the legislature and say, no, our community does not want this. And it was interesting because during that process, one of the legislators said to me, Lisa, I get it. Could you tell your group to stop emailing me now? I mean, like, he was getting inundated, that's good because we're sending a strong message. And sometimes we work with Sun City West on things like this. So Sun City West also had another 3,000 signatures. So between our two communities, we were able to tell our legislators, who are all three, they all represent both communities, you have over 7,000 people here that have said, no, we don't want you to vote for that bill. So that is something that SCHOA does, is we watch for legislation. We educate. We really try to educate our community about scams that are, we are a target environment for people that want to benefit themselves. So we try to educate, and then we also host events like today. All right, so compliance does matter. I think everybody would agree that it benefits us all. We are a tight-knit community, right? So we have condos, if you will, that are positioned right across single-family homes. So if you're looking at this all day, I think you'd really want to look at this all day, right? So that's what we do. We go in and this was a project that SCHOA took care of through one of our programs that I'm going to talk to you about. All right. If you are looking to build or add or do anything to your property, just so that you know, you should call SCHOA before you decide to do something. The CC&Rs take precedence over Maricopa County permitting. And so just so that you know, for years, SCHOA has tried to get the county to do something to notify people that are in HOAs, hey, did you get this approved with your HOA? We cannot get that done. Okay, I'm hoping that maybe something can be done this year. We'll see. I've been trying for quite a while, and I know Pam Schwartz, a board member for years, has been trying to do this. Because when you go to file for a permit, all Maricopa County cares about are you in line with the permitting codes and requirements of Maricopa County? Sun City is not their only community that they issue permits to, so that's all they care about. But they really should have some kind of form or document inside their permitting packet that says, have you checked with your HOA? The HOA is signed off on it, that goes in with the permitting packet. So that way, homeowners, if we see something that you've gone out and you've got a permit for and it's against the CC&Rs, we're going to have to have a conversation about that, and most likely you're going to have to take down whatever it was that you built. So it's really important that you check with SCHOA before you go to Maricopa County. And I would love for you to get the word out on that. And if you're on social media, please do not take CC&R advice from posts, right? Because some people are on those Sun City Facebook pages, but they don't even live in Sun City. They live up in Vistancia. So their CC&Rs are all different than ours. So please call SCHOA. And when you see that kind of stuff, tell them to call SCHOA. All right, so in 2024, just to give you an idea, we had over 3,500 violations reported. I talked to Christine, our compliance manager, this week, and I think right now, January through March, we've had 915. So we're on par to go over 3,500 if it keeps up, right? So this is kind of the breakdown from 2024. Just so that you know, when you see 128 age restrictions, these are complaints that were reported. Sometimes people will file a complaint because they see a child and it's like, oh my gosh, there's a child in the community. Well, a child can be here for 90 days, right? And so that could be an entire summer. They could be here for all of January and then come back in March and then come back in December. And so we will make a call to the property owner and we'll find out what's going on. So all those 128, there's not random kids everywhere. But just so people know, right, that kids can be here for 90 days. But if you want to turn that in, we will document it so that we can kind of keep track, right? If you see kids in January and then you see them again in March, but you haven't reported anything, it's not on our radar until you report it. And we can't go back by your word and say, oh, okay, well, they said that the child was there in January. We have to identify that. Because if it goes to court, we have to be the folks that have all the documentation, and it can't be hearsay. So we don't mind you turning something in. We just want you to know that a lot of times kids are visiting, right? Or they're just staying with grandma a little longer than probably a weekend visit. Or grandpa, not just grandma, but grandpa. All right, CIP, this is a program that we budget for. And so this is, what we do is if there's a vacant property, we do a lot of research on it. We just don't go out to vacant properties and clean their properties. But if it's a problem, like the house that I showed you earlier, that house has sat vacant for, I want to say, 15 years, 10 years, 15 years. And so we have to do a lot of research on that to make sure that we're going on somebody's property, right? And we're going to clean it up. And so we will do that, but also just for transparency and so that you guys understand is that, so we budget this. We don't have a mandatory assessment, remember, but we budget this, and then we have to lien the property. And if we lien the property, that property might not sell for 10 years. So we may not be reimbursed for that for 10 years. So, but I'm just sharing that with you because it's not just like we have a bucket of money and we can go out and clean up properties, because that's not really how it works. Plus, there's other incidents or situations that are going on. Like, we got a lot of complaints about a property on 103rd in Peoria, right? That was an illegal battle, right? There were people that were living in the property. The homeowner couldn't get them out. It was in court. She wasn't going to clean the property up while essentially there were people living in there that shouldn't have been living in there. And so it took a long time for that to take care of itself. And so if you drive by it now, it is clean. She got control of the property, and within the first couple days that she had control, it was cleaned up. She did the landscaping, she fixed the roofing. So just so you know that there are sometimes that those kind of situations happen. All right, so this was I think this was the backyard of the house I showed you, right? And so we went in and we cleaned that up. Okay, what SCHOA does and doesn't do. So we enforce the CC&Rs. We are not law enforcement. If there are drug dealers, if there are squatters, if somebody broke into a property, SCHOA cannot do anything about that. It has to go through through Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. And we also do not get involved in disputes between neighbors. Those are civil cases. And so if our compliance team says, nope, that does not affect the CC&Rs, that is between you and your neighbor, we just do not get involved in that. A lot of people think that we are an enforcement arm, like a law enforcement arm, and why can't we just get people out of the house? We can't, like we don't. We can't do it. So, all right, so the day of service, I'm very excited about this, and hopefully you'll see a running theme as we progress on, but we, back in the fall, we decided to have a day of service. Christine, our compliance manager, organized it, spearheaded it, and back in October, we had about 100 volunteers that came out to clean up properties for folks that just couldn't do it themselves. They just couldn't do it. They didn't have the finances to do it. The houses were in really bad condition. We had a landscaper, one of our business partners, that volunteered his time and his team to come out and help clean up these properties. So we decided to do it again in the spring, and we just did it in April. We cleaned 13 properties. Between these two cleanup days, I'm projecting that it would have cost $70,000 to $80,000 to clean up all those properties. And then in April, this last month, beginning of this month, these are all the organizations that helped this time around. I think we had like 6 landscapers, we had other business partners, we had other clubs, organizations that hopped on. We had over 150 this time to help clean up properties. It was just a fantastic time for our community, brought people together. I know I talked to one homeowner who had tears in his eyes because he couldn't believe how great his backyard looked. He was able to go out and sit in his backyard now because it wasn't so overgrown with everything, with trees and stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. Like our SCHOA, there's a compassionate side, right? We live in a community where there are people that have needs, and so what can we do to help those, those that we can help? All right, so our marketing department, just so you know, as a member of SCHOA, one of the perks that you get is we have a business partner program. It's a very robust program, and it was created in 2010. These business partners, they do pay a fee. However, they are all vetted. We check make sure their licenses are current and up to date. There's been no reports of any issues, any complaints. We check with the Better Business Bureau. We check references. We make sure that they have insurance. And then we put those, we make those available to our members. So you can always log online if you're looking for a landscaper or you're going to do construction or remodel or something at your home. We feel confident that these folks will do you well. If they don't, or if they do, we ask for feedback, right? Because we want to hear feedback. We want to make sure that these business partners are treating our residents correctly. We currently have 269, and there's tons of different categories that they're in. Plumbers, electricians, so many, there's less than 269 categories because we do have multiples, but there's tons of things in there, tons of opportunity for hiring somebody to do work at your house. Events, things that SCHOA does. So these are different things that we do. We've hosted a new resident orientation for many years. We do an annual electronic recycling event. We offer free workshops. We do educational seminars. This fall, and we've done this for about 12 years, we do a lifestyle senior expo that will take place right here in this room. Last year, we did the Merry and Bright contest. How many people were aware of that? Do you remember seeing that? It was huge. People loved it. We had 50 houses for the first time, 50 houses signed up for it. We had a Whoville Award, where, if you're familiar with the Grinch, the little Whoville, we had a community vote on one of the awards. So it was really great. This year, we're going to be doing that again. We opened a merch shop online. So there's a different type of items that you can purchase that just are really Sun City oriented, and all the proceeds of this go to SCHOA. We put out a publication. Every month we do a newsletter, has a lot of good information. If you're not getting those, I would encourage you to sign up for our email newsletter. We also send out urgent emails, like I talked about earlier about the, when we had a piece of legislation that we were concerned about. Recently, somebody applied for an age permit, an age overlay permit, temporary permit with the county. And felt, it's our responsibility to let you guys know that so that you can weigh in on it. And so we sent that out. And Maricopa County doesn't like when they have to do that because they get inundated with emails. So kudos to our community. Also, we put out a community resource guide. And what's interesting is that SCHOA created the very first phone directory in 1961. And it was for approximately 2,100 residents, and it cost $1, right? So it only makes sense that we continued the community resource guide, because that's kind of like a phone book, but we know that we're not really using phone books anymore, right? But I thought that was very interesting. All right, Sun City map. All you guys got a copy of this. So this is a little gift from us to you. This is brand new. This came out, and we've done these in the past, but people love these maps. It kind of helps you from getting lost in the circles, right? I remember when we first moved here, I had to call my husband twice. Honey, I don't know where I'm at. How do I get home? I seriously was lost in the circles. So anyway, also in here, just so you know, the majority, if not all, of these groups are listed in here as well. Their contact information, their websites, all that information. We also sell these for $3 a piece, so a little plug if you want additional ones. They're at the back table or at our office. Okay, SCHOA committees. So we have different committees that our board oversees. We have a government affairs committee, which I kind of talked to you about, right? We watch legislation. We also watch things like at the Corporation Commission, water rates. Years ago, SCHOA took a case all the way to the Arizona Supreme Court. I know Greg Eisert's in here. He was a lead on that to fight to protect us. And so SCHOA is very involved in government affairs issues. So much so that I'm going to put this on your radar if you're not familiar with this. This is Framework 2040, and I'm very excited that this meeting is going to be held right here. I love the fact that the Rec Center and us are working together, and they are hosting this for us. It is a Maricopa County meeting, and so essentially what this is every 10 years Maricopa County does like a 10-year plan, right? And so they are gathering information from their unincorporated areas across Maricopa County. So we sent out an email not too long ago that explained all this and how you could communicate, what you could do, and we're going to be sending more of that stuff out in the next couple weeks. There's the public meeting is going to be on Friday, May 9th, from 10 to noon right here. I encourage everybody to attend. Prior to that, you might want to go online. If you go to our website, which you can find that information in here, suncitykhoa.org, there's a way that you can go on to the Maricopa County website and post ideas and things on their wall. It's almost like if you had a board up here and you had Post-it notes, kind of like what Triarch did when they're talking with people about Mountain View, right? People could write down their ideas and they put it on a board. Well, this is all on their website. And SCHOA, we hear what the community says, but again, there are things that we cannot do. And some of the things are economic development. There is not an organization in Sun City that is responsible for economic development. It's not in our missions. The CCNRs, I talked to you about that a minute ago, CCNRs versus Maricopa County permits. I'd like a message sent very loud and clear to Maricopa County that they need to honor deed restrictions in communities before they're issuing permits. Door-to-door soliciting, this is my personal one that I want to work on, is to try to figure out how to stop it, because our seniors are being inundated with door-to-door scammers. You can talk to the police department about that. They will tell you recent things that have happened. The coyotes, I know it's a simple thing, but our pets are being eaten, right? They're being taken. So these are things: bulk trash pickup, increase in police, hazardous waste disposal. These are things that we hear from the community that we do not have any control over. So we posted all of these things, about 15 items, on that wall. And we're asking people in Sun City to go to that wall and make comments and like it. It's kind of like Facebook. You can like posts, and then you can add your own. So I double-checked last night, and we got some really good responses for ours, but I love the fact that more people are putting things on there. And some of them are very similar to what we're saying, but the more we can communicate with Maricopa County on what we want, what are important to us, the better. All right, roads and safety. We've had this committee since, I want to say the early 2000s or maybe earlier. Pam Schwartz-Hall is the chairman and has been the chairman for many years. And, she was appointed by the former county supervisor, Clint Hickman, to serve on the Maricopa County Transportation Advisory Board. So it's really great to have her at that table in our community. But the roads and safety meeting, they meet every month except for June, July, and August on the third Wednesday. And we have a lot of people from Maricopa County, the sheriff's office. They attend those meetings so they can hear public input on issues on our roads. Speeding is the number one thing. And speeding does happen, because last week I got rear-ended by somebody going 50 miles an hour. I'm very blessed that I'm here today. But speeding is an issue in our community. Okay, ad hoc committee, our CCNR. So how many live in a single-family home? Just so I have a perspective. Okay, so probably about half or a little bit more, actually. All right, so last year, we had a committee that was working on our CCNRs, looking at updating them, because they haven't been updated since 1998. And they came together, they put things together. Our board has looked at it. Our attorney has reviewed it. It's back at our board, so our board is going to reevaluate the things that the attorney has said that we might be able to do, can do, can't do. And so just putting this on your radar, later this year, we're going to start having town halls to talk about updating our CCNRs and letting you evaluate what we're asking for, right? And so we're going to go into more of that down the road, but I'm just putting that on your radar, that is in the works. And I'm very excited about it, and so is our compliance team. And then we also have an election committee that handles all of our elections that take place in the fall. All right, so SCHOA does many things for the entire community, right? We protect our age overlay, I talked about that. We monitor legislation. Again, this is for the entire community. That's why everybody should be a member of SCHOA. We have condo owners that are members. We have condo owners that actually serve on our board. We've hosted that road and safety committee meeting for the entire community since the early 2000s. We strive to keep our utility rates low. That's for everybody. It's not just for single-family homes. We watch for scams. This is really near and dear to my heart. I hate seeing people taken advantage of. And so we try to get that information out as much as possible. In fact, we are going to be partnering with the Sheriff's Office on October 8th to do a town hall right here. Again, the Rec Center is graciously hosting us again. So watch for that. Okay, our current membership, just so you know, as of last night, it was 5,238 members, right? That's only 19% of our community. So I'm asking you to be a member if you're not a member. And I want to just also, I see folks from the Ukulele Club. In January, they held a fantastic concert for us, and it grew our membership by a few hundred people. So our membership from last year, it's up about 500 members from last year, so we're moving in the right direction, but that's still not that much, right? So you can help support our efforts. Our community depends on SCHOA staying in business. No one else is going to enforce your CC&Rs or your age restriction. It's the best $25 that you're ever going to spend in this community, in my opinion. So I also want to share with you that we have a foundation, a SCHOA foundation, and it's a 501c3. It's funded by donations. We have our board of the foundation is here today. We also participate in the Arizona tax credit. So that allows you, taxpayers, to make charitable contributions and receive dollar-for-dollar reductions in your Arizona state tax liability. So instead of paying your money to the state, you can pick a charitable donation and you can pay it to that organization. So SCHOA Foundation is listed on their list as a charitable tax donation, or Arizona tax credit organization. So what does the foundation do? So when our community was built, nobody thought about how we're going to maintain all the walls, right? So there's 30 miles of walls around Sun City. 17 are common walls. So about every 10 years, the foundation, they paint those walls. They make sure that that is a standard for our community to look nice. Also, they do a ramp program. And the ramp program is to assist residents with financial limitations. So we will go out and clean properties. If a property owner meets a certain criteria, we work with we work with Sun City Can with this a little bit because they do the vetting for us. But if they meet a certain criteria, we can go out and we can clean their property. All right. So and that helps to maintain our standards. Again, it's funded through the foundation. So take a look at the information from them in your bags too. All right, and so some people will say, I didn't even know you guys existed. Well, we're right down on 103rd, 104th and Coggins, and that's the outside of our building. So feel free to stop in any time and chat with us. That is covered for SCHOA, and so now I'm going to introduce you to Sue Clark, who is the president of the Sun City Condo Association.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. The Condo Association is very excited to finally be able to unite with SCHOA and the Rec Center to sponsor this presentation. So here we are. This is a part that to me is the funniest, but we are the Sun City Condo Association. But if you want to find us, you need to go to Youngtown because that is where we are. That's where our office is. We're at 11132 California Avenue, Suite B in Youngtown. We're open on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 1. And when you go there, Pat, could you stand up? Pat will greet you there. And then we have volunteer directors that are available to meet with you on those days. Russ Ruck is here. Russ, you want to stand up? Sue Theodore is here. Penny Walker is not available today, but she is there, and myself. And we volunteer our time to help our condominiums. Right now, there are 384 condos in Sun City, and there are all kinds of condos. The patio condos, which are mainly, they're long strips of condos with big strips of grass in the middle. Some have rocked it. And then there's what they call the Gemini, also known as a duplex. And we have a few of the high-rise that are more commonly known, as condos. So we have a lot. That consists about 9,600 units in Sun City. So how many condo owners do we have in the room today? Yeah, quite a bit. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to say our membership dues, we pay by association. So if you live in an association, your association chooses to belong. And so if you have less, I believe, less than 100 units, your yearly payment is $110. And above that, it's $230. So this summer, I decided that right now, out of those 384 condos, we have 274 members, which is big for us. The largest number we've had in 10 years. And so I'd like to see us hit 300 before year end. So what I've decided to do is for those condo associations that have not been members or are not members this year, you can come to our office, and I have cut the membership fee for your association by half for the remainder of this year. So what do we do? I mean, why would you want to be a member of the condo association? Well, we do quite a bit. We're an educational institution. We do not have compliance. So none of the people I've introduced to you are going out to your association to make people comply. We're educating. So we have a lot of free workshops that our members can attend. Right now, if you were a condo owner or are a condo owner, insurance is a huge problem right now. Everybody has been able to purchase master policies since the beginning of Sun City, where insurance company covers all those houses. And unfortunately, this year, we have seen many, many, many insurance companies just cancel policies because they're going out of those commercial master policies. And so associations are having to go to their people and say, we have to go to homeowners policies. So this year, a lot of condo owners are having to go out and look at insurance to cover the inside and the outside of their property. So we are working hard. We're out there educating ourselves about the insurance crisis so our members can come to our office and also our workshops and talk about the insurance. A lot of condos are managing contracts with the people they hire to do things in their associations. And so we have workshops and we have someone on board to help you through a contract. And we have templates of contracts that we can give to you. The biggest thing that we do or we try to help do is manage difficult owners. You would think in a senior community of maybe 34 units, everyone could get along. But I'm here to tell you they don't. They do not. I don't think a week goes by in the condo world that we don't have at least 50 people complaining about difficult people in their associations. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's 100 people that live in that condo association or if there's 4, because we have associations with just 4 units. Well, you can imagine there's a board and probably at least 2 people are on the board. So they kind of rule what everybody does. And the smaller the association, the more problems. Xeriscaping is another wonderful workshop that we offer. And because EPCOR this year came out with a program for condominiums that wanted to reduce their grass and go to rock. And a lot of our associations have taken advantage of that. with a lot of money savings in the end. We offer listening posts, and people often wonder, what are listening posts? Well, that's when you can come to our office, you can sit down with myself or any of our other directors and just talk about what's going on in your association. And we're happy to try to work through that. The big thing people don't understand is if your association belongs to SCHOA, anybody in your association benefits from that. So if you're an owner and you're not on a board, you can come still to our office and we'll talk through that with you. You can attend the workshops we have. They're all available to people. We also assist in amending documents. That's a big thing here in the condo world because 384 condos, 384 documents. So none of the documents are the same. Some of them are very old. And so people come in and they say, can we enforce this? And a lot of them, some of them are even against the law by now. So we have a director that took a lot of time and made a template. And that is updated as the laws change so that it's totally up to date. You come in, we go through it with you, and you get an electronic copy of that document, and then you can make the changes for your association, and we follow you right through the vote of that document. Budgets are hard. And in condos, again, there are 384 different budgets. And you have to budget. I always tell people the first boards in Sun City, they didn't have anything to do. The condos were brand new. There was no problem getting insurance. They didn't have any problem with water. A lot of the first condos in Sun City even paid everybody's property taxes. They had this money budgeted, and so they didn't know what to do with it. They covered roofs. Some people still cover roofs, and that's a big expenditure. So we're very lucky to have Penny Walker on board at the COA because doing budgets is what she did for 34 years. And so she is able to take your budget with your board and predict what you need to do with your assessment for that year. She also does a reserve analysis during that time, so that's very worthwhile. We have a free notary, so if your association belongs to us, you can come in and we'll notarize any document, condo related or not, for free. I personally hold weekly roundtables. So I have roundtables for chairmen. I have roundtables for just being an officer on the board. And we keep them small. We keep them to 20 people. And they have really, really grown well over the last 3 years. I also open a Q&A once a month where you don't have to register for. You just show up that day. I'm in the meeting room for an hour and a half. You can come in and ask any question you have. But those roundtables are a place where people interact with other condo owners and boards, and it's a good chance for them to unite. So those have been very successful. In the worst cases, Penny and I mediate between maybe an owner and a board that can't get along, and we've even mediated with board members that can't get along. So we certainly do that. So that is what we do. We'll be at the table back there. I'll be in the room. We can talk about any condo issues or possibilities that you have. So right now, it's my pleasure to turn this over to Chris from the Rec Center.
So, for those of you that have ever been at an exchange meeting, you know I'm a wanderer. So, I will say, wow, and I thought the RCSC budgets were hard. So, I'd also like to thank SCHOA for the maps. I think that's awesome. Thank you. So, welcome to Sun City Orientation and the presentation for RCSC. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to where we began, which is basically the concept of Sun City, Arizona as a lifestyle. The rec centers, or RCSC, was not the beginning of Sun City. Basically, you know, we believed there were very specific things that people wanted people as they retired and aged to have all kinds of choices. And I'm not going to read from my slides, so please bear with me. All sorts of choices about recreation, all sorts of choices about how we retired and how we lived that retired life. And I want you to think back, if you guys can throw your mind back to 1960. In 1960, my grandparents were in their 40s. Man, they were old. So think about 1960. If you were 55 in 1960, how you were viewed at 55 in 1960, totally different from how we're viewed at 55 in 2025, right? Totally different. There were not a lot of things for people that were of retirement age to participate in and enjoy. And Del Webb had this idea that they would build a senior community that allowed people to be as active as they wanted to be, both intellectually and physically. So with that focus, the Rec Centers of Sun City was born in its initiation, and it's continued to support those goals of the Sun City, Arizona community. So how did we come to be? So you've already seen some of this. January 1st, 1960, Deli Webb opened. We had, what I learned today, 6 miles of cars down Grand. There was a dream, and there was a plan. And Deli Webb and then John Meeker implemented that plan. And while in 1960, nobody had done Fields of Dreams, where if they build it, they will come, we did come, and we keep coming. And I think that's because we still offer everything that people are looking for as they're trying to move into their retirement years. You know, and as we continue, I gotta refresh my memory here. Okay, we're the first of our kind. I think Lisa said that. But what's important is that we were the first of our kind and we set the standard going forward. And I think that's really important, that if you look at every adult community in the country, it was originally, it may not look like ours. I think everybody would agree the Villages doesn't look like us, right? It doesn't. But every retirement community that's out there within a 55-plus community, it started with this dream right here. And as we moved, we started south of Grand. We started building facilities. We started building houses. We moved north. We progressed, more facilities, more houses, until we ended up way north. And then eventually, the Rec Centers of Sun City Incorporated were formed. So over the course of 65 years, that's a long time. That's like I was 2 years old. So that's a long time. And as I as I learned more about Sun City from Ben Rolla, from Bill Pearson, from the museum, from my neighbors, I learned and come to appreciate how important what we have here is. And if you really want to know more about our history, go to the museum. The museum has all kinds of amazing things, and I don't know how many people are like brand new here. Can I see a show of hands? How many people? How many people 1 to 5 years? Okay. How many people 5 years or more? Okay, so we've got a really diverse population in this room today. So I would say that what we're doing here is important, but if you really want to know where we came from, how we came to be the Recreation Centers of Sun City, how we came to be Sun City, Arizona, which not really a city. If you look at it from that perspective, I would really recommend the museum. I could not recommend it enough. And the important thing about the museum is you get the right information. And I think that's really important. So RCSC is a private nonprofit corporation that owns and operates recreational and social facilities in Sun City, Arizona. And I just told you I wasn't going to read my slide, but that one is specific. It was the goal of the initial rec center groups, and then eventually RCSC, to provide for Sun City, Arizona residents, providing they qualify and choose to participate. By choose to participate, I mean you decide to walk through the door like you did today. The broadest range of recreational and social facilities possible to enhance their active lifestyles and well-being. That means so the really cool thing here is if you have an interest, you're probably going to find it here. And if you don't find it, you get to create it. And that is unique, that you get to create your interest here. So maybe it's something brand new like esports. You want to build a club for esports, you just have to get people together and do it, and then start talking to our club's office. So I think that's something to keep in mind as you're venturing into your time period here in Sun City. Okay, so we have a mission, vision, and value statement. I'm not going to read it. It's posted everywhere. I just wanted to put it up for you guys to scan. But we do have mission, vision, and values that we are working from. And our governance has very specific things. We'll talk about that later. But consider this like our golden rule, right? This is what drives the corporation, what drives RCSC, and people that work at RCSC and people that support it through their volunteer efforts. So what does it really mean? Well, for many of you, you came from a municipality where you voted for a mayor or you voted for the city council. We don't have that. We're called a city, but we're not really a city. We're part of the unincorporated areas of Maricopa County, which means that all of those things that a city council would give you, let's see, sometimes water, sometimes trash, sometimes law enforcement, sometimes a mayor that you can go stand at and yell at, sometimes a city council where you're going to give your point of view, libraries, all of those are part of Maricopa County. Now, our two libraries do exist inside Sun City properties because we feel that libraries are so important, but they're there. But they're owned by Maricopa County Library District, all of the content in there. So there are many, many supporting organizations in Sun City, Arizona, because we don't have a city council. And we don't have, public office that you get to go talk to. So all of those tables back there fill those gaps and those needs. There's SCHOA. There's the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, there's the fire department, there's the museum, there's the Prides, there's CAN, there's the Sun City Foundation, there's the SCHOA Foundation, and I know I've missed somebody, I absolutely know. There's Olive Branch, and there's Sunshine Services, and there's the Posse. There's all these different organizations that fill the gaps that we have by not being an actual city. So, and every one of those, or the majority of them, have different governance, different bylaws and rules, and different boards. So, wait, what? I am a RCSC member? I actually had somebody say that to me. They just bought their house and they're saying, what? How did that happen? Well, it happened when you purchased your property. When you purchased your property, you paid a lump sum for the Preservation Improvement Fund and the Capital Improvement Fund, and you also paid an annual fee for your assessment, your first annual assessment. What that gets you is access to all of the RCSC amenities that every other RCSC member has. It gives you the ability to join committees, to vote, to attend committee meetings even if you're not on the committees. It gives you the ability to go to the monthly members exchange and speak, the board meeting and speak to motions. It gives you full access as a member to everything that every other member that we do. So, I know I've had this question many times. I'm just going to step through the PIF, the SIF, and the assessment so that there's a clear understanding of what the funds are used for. The PIF in 2025 is $4,000. It's used for large-scale projects. So think Mountain View, think major golf course changes, right? There are very strict rules that are written about how we can use that money to protect the future of RCSC properties. So think about this, if we don't spend our money appropriately, 20 years from now, before we all pass away, it could go away. And that's not what we agreed to when we signed our facilities agreement. So there are very strict rules around the PIF. It cannot, under any circumstances, be used for operational budget payments. You just cannot use it for operational needs. I know many ask about that, but it just can't. By the rules that the PIF was set up, it can't be used. The SIF is the Capital Improvement Fund. It's $1,500. It's used for smaller projects with lower cost, less longevity. So PIF, big projects, long time around. SIF, smaller projects, it doesn't last as long. There are also strict rules around project cost and longevity for the SIF money. And again, it cannot be used for routine operational needs. Can't be used to clean the pool. You know, we can't go in there and say, oh, I'm going to scrub the sides of the pool. We'll use SIF money to pay the company that comes in. We can't do that. That's not what it's for. And then there's the annual assessment money, $650. It's basically operations, maintenance, and repairs, and the day-to-day running of Sun City, keeping the pools clean, paying our employees, supporting the clubs. That's what our annual assessment does. So, if you're new to Sun City, how many of the first stop was card member services? I know my first stop was card member services. It was on the telephone when I first bought my house, but that was my first call. So you go there to process your paperwork after your close on your property. It provides you with your member number, your member card. If you need the little fob on the back of it to be able to go into a specific club, it actually puts that fob on the back of it and it codes it so you can go in. Classic example would be Grand or Oakmont, where we've had to, due to security concerns, we've had to put different security processes in place, but that little fob will get you in. And it provides you with any additional information regarding your membership. So if you're brand new here, where's Marinette and what's at Marinette? They can help you with that. When's the member exchange? They can help you with that. When do you get to vote? How do you get to vote? What am I voting for? They can provide you and help you with information on that. Next up I would recommend is the Visitor Center. The Visitor Center has a ton of information in it, has a lot of publications about RCSC and the Sun City community. And some examples are supporting information about like SCHOA or Prides or CAN or Posse. It has club information. It has, if you guys have ever been there, lots of little different colored flyers for the different clubs that you can pick up and decide what you want to do and who the contact people are. Has printed copies of the Sun City Update, which is our weekly update that we have. And it has much, much more. I could sit here and probably talk about the visitor centers for half an hour alone. So it has much, much more. So how is RCSC governed? Basically, we have the restated Articles of Incorporation, the corporate bylaws, and board policies that govern everything that the directors and/or management do. Policies tend to apply to the day-to-day stuff. The bylaws are what control how we behave, and the articles are sacrosanct. They're like the top. So think about it as Constitution, and then we have different legislations and laws that we've enacted throughout the country. It's a very similar thing. The articles are what guide everything, and the bylaws bleed out of that, and then the board policies come out of that to be able to implement and do different things. We have a board of directors. There's 9 of us. A minimum of 3 directors each year are elected. So if you're interested in being on the board of directors, please feel free to reach out to the corporate offices, and they'll give you information on how you can do that. We sometimes do have more, because if we have an unexpected vacancy, then we may have more people that will be running for the board. The board holds monthly meetings. We have a member exchange where you're welcome to come speak to us. So you can actually, it's sort of like this. We all sit down here, and there's a podium, and we have numbers. So people don't have to stand for like 12 hours like they used to. And you can actually come up and share your concerns. And you can speak to any topic. There's no control on that topic. And the board will either tell you that they need to research or try to respond to your question at the time. And then we have board meetings. The board meetings are monthly, where we do the business of the corporation. So if we need a motion to spend money, if we need to create or disband a club, we need to create or disband a committee, if we need to pass something like a bylaw change. All of that's done at the board meetings, and at the same time, there's a financial report and a management report that people can look at and listen to, and we have everything printed in the back, and the members are allowed to speak to the motions. So if there's a motion, you can come up and speak to the motion for or against. These are our current board members, and I'd like to ask President Tom Foster to stand up, please. Where'd he go? Okay. Secretary Keiss, Treasurer Borski, Director Collins, Director Brissette, and I said that wrong, I apologize, Director Gray, and Director Ruff. Thank you very much, guys. You do an awesome job. So how do we become board directors? We are elected by the membership in December, which I was last December, and you can be appointed if a position becomes available, as I was in March. So basically, I got appointed first, and then I ran, and I got elected. So that's the 2 ways that you get on the board. We also have a general manager who collaborates with the RCSC Board of Directors on any member-impacting activities, runs the day-to-day operations, and works with the senior management group to implement the decisions, directives, and initiatives of the RCSC Board of Directors. The management team are our acting general manager because, as many of you know, Mr. Delazansky left. So we have our acting general manager, director of operations, Mike Dermeyer. Director of finance, Kevin McCurdy. I don't know if you're here. They were going to try and come, but they're very busy, as I'm sure you can understand. Director of Golf, Brian Duthu, and Director of Facilities, Mr. Mike Whiproot, who I understand is in Washington and not having to deal with our heat. We also have committees. Those committees work at the behest of the board. We basically ask them to use their expertise. They come from all walks of life, and we ask them to use their expertise to help make the right decisions with regard to different types of things we might do. So they do research and analysis leading to the recommendations that are then brought before the board. For those of you that may have seen recently, there was one about Quail Run and disc golf, and there was one about Facebook, or social media, and then one about the marquees. We have 11 committees. They're listed up there. Basically, these are people who come, they volunteer their time, they're members, and they bring expertise. Some of these committees, if you're a bowler, you could join. Others are looking more for specific expertise, like on the technology committee, we look for specific expertise for helping us with technological things. We also have a foundation. Many of you stopped at the table in the front for the foundation. Basically, it has a Neighbors Helping Neighbors, which is a member assessment assistance. So we have members who may need assistance paying their assessment fee each year. So we have that, and we also are expanded into looking at potential grants that would be available to us and or that we can submit. And so how can you help? Direct donations, or you can work with your club. If you're a member of a club, you can work with your club to go ahead and make donations to the foundation. You want more information on how to donate to the foundation or perhaps even help with the foundation, please stop at the table and talk to the board that's back there. There's Director Borski is the president of the foundation, and we have 2 other board members sitting at the table. And we have activities. So we have all these different things, but the activities is what we all came for, right? We all came for the active living, the different things that we could do. So we have 8 rec centers, and within those 8 rec centers, we have pools, we have fitness centers, we have flat spaces for club activities, we have a bowling alley in 2 of them, and we have one that does not have a fitness center and a pool. Does anybody know which rec center we have doesn't have a fitness center or a pool? Right, grand. Primarily club space. We have the Sun Bowl, we have the softball park, we have Meeker Mountain, Viewpoint Lake, and Duffyland Dog Park. Duffyland Dog Park is where you can take your dogs. It's got different places for your dogs to be able to run. Does require a fob, just so that you guys know. You can't just show up there and go in. It does require a fob. We have 8 golf courses. We have 5 regulation and 3 executive. We have, I was told, 124 clubs, not 127. So we have 124 clubs that go from cribbage to dance to swimming to automotive to politics to languages to you name it, we got it. I was shocked at how much we had here. I looked at the list and I thought, wow, if people can't find things to do here, I would be shocked. We also have the fall, winter, and spring concerts. The fall and spring concerts are at Sun Bowl. The winter concerts are here. The spring and fall concerts are free. The winter concerts are for a nominal price. I actually looked at one of the bands that came here during the winter. They were over on Mesa in the Arts Center, $125 for that ticket. And that was at the back of the house. So There's not really a back of the house here, so that's available. We also have our Fun Out of the Sun for our full-time residents. That's during the summer. And what it does is it provides people the opportunity to get out of their homes, participate in activities while remaining cool. And there's so much more. I really, truly could not tell you, stand here for probably 3 hours and list everything out that we do. So how do we get engaged? So the board would love for everybody to be as engaged as possible, but we also realize that that's not exactly what you came here for all the time, right? You didn't come here to do business, you came here to retire and enjoy your life. However, there are some things that you can do. The number one thing is participate in the activities. Go to the Sun Bowl, come here to the Sundial, join a club, do fitness, go to the pools, play bocce ball, whatever you would want to do, participate in the activities, and join a committee. There's all kinds of committees out there that actually would love your help. We value the expertise of our members, and we would love to see you guys get involved with the committees. And then, come to the board meetings, come to the member exchange, send us your email. If you want to talk to us directly, but you don't want to be the person standing at the podium, because a lot of people hate public speaking, and I get that. When I was younger, I used to walk into a classroom, and if I was late, I was bright red, because everybody was staring at me. So I get that not everybody's comfortable coming up to the podium and speaking. Board of Directors at suncityaz.org communicates with all of us. So if you have thoughts, ideas, suggestions, please feel free to share them with us. Read the Sun City updates. Follow RCSC on Facebook and YouTube. The email blast that went out recently contained those links. We are encouraging people, because we're stepping into social media. When you see things on our page or on YouTube, and you think, wow, that was interesting, share it. Share it. If you're a social media user, share it. We don't allow comments right now on anything, because most businesses and corporations do not. They control that very strictly. But that doesn't mean you can't take it and share it and add your own comments in your own groups. And then visit the museum. I'm going to have one last plug for the museum. You want to know about Sun City, how we came to be, what we're doing, please visit the museum. And I want to thank all of you for coming. It's an amazing turnout. Thank you very much.
Good job. All right. Are you guys learning a lot? So far, so good? All right, so we've saved some gems here. One thing Chris made me think, I didn't find SCHOA on Facebook and follow us there too, because we put out a lot of good information as we're trying to get people educated on things. Really good things are happening in Sun City. Really, they are. I'm going to go into some of this history with some of our groups, because as Chris and I have shared, and Sue, that Sun City is not a city, right? So there have been gaps and needs that we've needed to fill, and people have rose to the occasion over the years for that. And many of those organizations are here today, so we're going to talk about that. But before I start going one by one real quick, I just want to tell you too that as leaders in our community, once a month, there's a leadership coalition meeting that we get together, we meet, we talk about what each group is doing, how we can support each other, anything that's on the horizon. Your leadership in all these groups are working together, and so I don't think that is shared enough. But we're not in these little isolated hubs, if you will. So a lot of good things are happening. So Sun City, we're known and have been known for years as the city of volunteers. And you're gonna find out why here, and it's so exciting, I think. So Sunshine Service, this organization is really amazing. So it's one of the best kept secrets in Sun City. How many have heard of it? Okay, well, I guess it's not such as a secret, right? All right, well, since 1961, they have helped supply residents' needs for durable medical equipment and other household items free of charge. They lend, for those who don't know the secret, they lend medical equipment such as wheelchairs, crutches, hospital beds, walkers, etc. According to their website, they're housed on a 22,000 square foot facility, and their inventory is valued at over $1.6 million. They've received local, state, and national recognition, and they're a charitable nonprofit in Arizona, and that was started, again, back in 1961 to fill a need. That's an amazing organization, so if you're in Sun City and you need medical equipment, you should check with them. All right, number 2, the Sun City Prides. I'm sure you've probably seen those folks in their bright orange shirts all around the community. That's one of the reasons the community looks so well, looks so good. The Prides organization stands for Proud Residents Independently Donating Essential Services. Their mission is to assist Maricopa County in keeping Sun City clean and beautiful. And they've been doing this since 1980. This organization has historically kept Sun City beautiful as they're wearing their bright orange shirts as they focus on community landscape efforts. They're responsible also for those welcome signs that you see when you drive into the community, those Welcome to Sun City signs. They were behind that. The Prides became a nonprofit organization in 1982, and by 1983, they had 319 active members. And today they still have over 200 members, and their work definitely has not slowed down one bit. The Maricopa County officials have estimated that the 62,000 work hours performed by them has been of a value of about $400,000 annually. They do that to benefit our community. So, and these numbers were on their website. Number of years Prides has served, Sun City 44. So it's miles cleaned by Prides, 40 miles in Maricopa County. So next up is our Sun City Posse. So the mission of again, we're filling gaps, right? You see like a trend here. The mission of the Sun City Posse is to enhance the safety and well-being of Sun City residents as they work closely with Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, yes. Along with patrolling the streets, they provide a variety of services to residents staffed by an all-volunteer team. In 2024, they received 32,603 calls, ranging from medical emergencies, community policing and assistance, home vacation watches, welfare checks, missing people. So in 2024, the Posse volunteers worked 67,919 total hours. Just think, just a couple more hours and they could have got 68,000. Of this total number of hours, 24,132 were worked in patrol, conducting the duty necessary to be the eyes and ears of Sun City. I want to throw this up that they are having an event on Saturday. This is their shred-a-thon. They do this, I think, every twice a year, I believe. But so they have a shred-a-thon on Saturday, and they also have a drug take-back. So you can get information on their website. They also do a vacation watch. So if you're leaving town for any amount of time, you can fill out a form, and they will come by your house, and they will check your house, in case you didn't know that. But you can pick up information at their table as well. All right, Sun City Can. So the Sun City Community Assistance Network, they were founded in 1968 and incorporated in 1969. The mission is to connect low-income senior residents with resources such as utility bill discounts, APS and gas crisis assistance, help with their taxes, help them to apply for food stamps, Medicare saving programs, and helping to freeze property values. They also work with us, with SCHOA, on our RAMP program and helping to identify those who might need help with weed and yard cleanup. They're also a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and their primary income comes from donations that they receive from residents. So they never charge for anything that any service that they provide. So again, there's the theme, right? There's a need, and people rise up for that need. All right. Friends of Sun City, as Chris mentioned, we do have 2 Sun City Maricopa County libraries in our community. One is at the Bell Rec Center and one is at Fairway. We are extremely blessed to have those in our community. But the Friends of the library, they're like a support arm. And so their mission is to enhance the community through support for Sun City libraries. And they work closely with Maricopa County in helping to maintain our libraries. They have a little bookstore called Books Around the Corner, which is located at the Bell Rec Center. And the books that they sell, they take that money and they put that back into the library. So between 2015 and 2024, book sales from that little corner store, that little bookstore, generated more than $366,000 to fund new library equipment, furnishings, pay for improvements, and sponsor special programs. In 2024, they committed $40,000 to the libraries. So they are helping, even though they are teaming up with Maricopa County, and they are helping finance our 2 libraries and different things that go on there. They're also a 501c3, and like I said, we are blessed to have both of those libraries in our community. All right, a lot has been said about the museum. All right, I was going to say this last, but I'll say this first. They are a must-do Sun City bucket list item, right? So the Del Webb Sun City Museum is a place that you will discover the rich history about our community, the community that changed a nation. Sun City was the first planned active retired community, Chris mentioned this, in the nation. And the Del Webb Museum opened in 1990 as the Sun City's Area Historical Society. And in 2010, they changed the name, and they renamed it after the man who was instrumental in our community, Del Webb. So when you step inside, you feel that you've journeyed back in time to January 1st, 1960. I kind of feel like I step into like a Father Knows Best TV set, right? Many visitors anticipate spending about 20 minutes, a half an hour to check it out. Check out that little pink house, the very first model home. And then 2 hours later, they say, we'll be back, right? So there's a ton of stuff in there to look at. The museum showcases fascinating artifacts, photographs, displays, great stories. They do a ton of events. Highly encourage you to check them out. And that's their address, and they have visiting hours. So now for something that's kind of fun, they have this book. This book is amazing. I got some of my history stuff out of that. I've read parts of I want to know about things, so it has a lot of good history. I will tell you that my husband is reading it, and it's all highlighted, right? A lot of good stuff in there. And so they do have these books available at the table for $20, but somebody is sitting in a chair that has a golden ticket underneath it. So if you want to check your chair and see if there's like a little taped golden ticket, and I'm kind of looking at where it might be, but I'm wondering if anyone is sitting in that chair. That's one of the problems, right, when you do something like this, is that you might not sit in the chair. All right, so nobody sat in the chair. Okay, just so that you know, just for, you do? All right, there you go, winner. All right, yeah, whew, thank goodness somebody sat in that chair. Whew. So you are a winner of a book and also 2 memberships to the museum. So you can touch base with Linda on that, and she'll get that for you. Yes, thank them. They donated it. So thank you to the museum. Yeah, we got to think that through again, don't we? All right. Yeah, but really, it's an amazing book. I encourage everybody to get a copy of it. All right. So a couple other organizations. They're not so much like the community groups but they are imperative to our community. So the fire department. Rob Schmidt, our fire chief, is here today. When I saw him, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're here. That's fabulous. But I shouldn't be surprised because he's always involved in our community, right? But so the Sun City Fire Medical Department, they offer programs that help support our community. And one of their popular services that they do are lock boxes. So some of you guys might have little lock boxes that are by your front door. And so those are, especially for new residents to know that, so the fire department doesn't break down your door, right? Because your house key is in there. They have a key. They're the only people that have a key to access that. If there's an emergency, they can unlock that, get the key out, open your door. So if you're new to Sun City and you have one of those, you might need to get the key changed out. So they will do that as well. They also provide free smoke detector installations along with a home safety survey. The fire department has a great relationship with the community. I mean, we are very blessed to have them and the sheriff's office. We work very closely with them. There are times where I get emails from them saying, hey, have you seen this? This is happening on this property. Do you know about this? So it's really good to have that kind of relationship with them. They also helped partner with us, and they worked with us on both of our day of services. They brought out their own crews and teams and helped with that. So kudos to our fire department. They are rock stars. Our Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, again, this is our police force, right? So we don't live in a city. We don't have our own police force, but they are amazing. We work very well with them too. There are times that they call us and say, hey, did you know about this? Same thing. So Maricopa County provides our law enforcement. As mentioned earlier, the posse works very closely with them. So the posse has a lot of eyes and ears on the ground, and they communicate with the sheriff's office as well. So there's a really good relationship that takes place there. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is also known as MCSO, and those folks, we generally have somebody from the MCSO at our roads and safety meeting because they want to hear what's going on, and they want to communicate. Like, yes, we heard that there's speeding on that road. Either there's nothing that we can do about it, they're upfront with us, or we put this sign up to try to slow it down. So there's communication going on between them and us, and so it's really a positive thing. They also partnered with us with the Day of Service, and they are who we're going to be co-hosting that Scam Town Hall in October, on October 8th, right here. So you'll be seeing information about that. Again, just to educate our community on these folks that drive me crazy. All right, Banner. So Banner, Olive Branch Senior Center is located on the corner of 103rd and Grand, and they're part of the Banner Boswell Medical Centers and part of Banner Health. This center's been in operation for 35 years, serving our community, and offers a place for residents in Sun City to gather, to have a hot meal, participate in free activities, and make friends. There's a lot of folks in Sun City that live by themselves, and they're lonely. They really are. They offer benefit checkups, blood pressure checks, classes, including exercise nutrition programs, counseling, health and education events, health screenings, legal assistance, meal programs, and entertainment for individuals who are 60 years or older, their spouses, and any handicapped person of any age. So it's a really great resource for us as a community. All right, so as you can see, Sun City has a rich history of volunteerism. And each of these organizations, as I said earlier, they rose up to serve a need in the community. And I hope that this presentation has maybe encouraged you to get involved, to volunteer somewhere if you're not already. The goodie bag that you have is filled with, the little green bag is filled with information from all these organizations. But please stop by the tables, meet with these folks, get more information from them. Closing up, what I'd like to do is I really want to thank the Rec Center and SCHOA. This, like I said, I started this earlier by saying this is an historic event. And you guys can all say I was there. I was there 30 years ago when they did the very first one. But it's been really a blessing, an honor to work with these gals because we really want to educate our community because we're so unique, we're so different. And so then I also want to thank all the community groups for all that they do because you just saw all the things that they've done, and they've done them for 60 years, some of them. And then I want to thank all the staff that helped us, thank the Rec Center staff for setting up for us and making coffee, everything. So you guys, we're really blessed to live in this community. So thank you guys so much for coming, all right?